Hello, and welcome to our team research design proposal for Care Connection, a remote patient monitoring platform by Daniel Diaz, Grace Tahaney, and Hannah Treppenhauer. As an overview of this presentation, Hannah will first go over the factors in the RPM industry that lead us to the identification of our client's problem, as well as our preliminary findings from the literature review. Next, Grace will explain how this secondary research informed the development of our research questions, whereafter she will present on the design and results of our interview methodology. Following Grace, Hannah will explain the design and results of our survey, wherein afterwards, I will explain how these methods lead to our comprehensive list of recommendations for Care Connection, as well as the potential limitations of our research and concluding remarks.
The market for RPM platforms has experienced massive growth over the last few years as a major result of these three factors, presenting a significant opportunity for Care Connection to grow their market share as millions of patients gain awareness of and access to RPM. However, like many RPM platform providers, Care Connection has majorly operated by marketing towards doctors and other health systems, not patients, meaning that direct-to-consumer would be a completely new avenue for our client. With this in mind, the management decision problem facing Care Connection is the question of how they should communicate the value of their platform to create interest with seniors. Considering this, the objective of our market research was to establish a deeper understanding of seniors when it comes to their healthcare needs. By researching their potential perceptions, communication channel preferences, and decision-making factors in regard to RPM platforms, Care Connection can make informed decisions about their direct-to-consumer communication strategy. Our literature review was organized around the main components of our MRP. Now, mainly due to the prevalence of chronic disease in older populations, there was a strong likelihood that seniors would make up Care Connection's target core. While there was some evidence to support this in the literature, many studies indicated that the age demographics of RPM end users often exist on a range, as RPM is beneficial for many chronic conditions not exclusive to seniors. However, many of the studies that indicated this age range included RPM devices that Care Connection wasn't associated with. As such, there was a need to research the demographics of users that require devices specifically supported by Care Connection's platform. The literature review also revealed that both millennials and Gen Xers stand to have just as much of an impact as baby boomers when it comes to driving the adoption of RPM. Although, for varying reasons, that may allude to differential perceptions of RPM between demographics. Synthesizing these findings strongly suggests that, while seniors are a key demographic for RPM, they may just be one piece of the puzzle.
So now we will be moving on to our research questions. Our research was designed in order to help us better understand the relationship and perception seniors have with RPM technologies and their medical needs. The first research question is, how do perceptions of RPM differ between demographics? This helped better understand how age, gender, and income can impact how seniors view Care Connection's platform. The second research question is, what factors influence a patient's selection of RPM platform? This highlighted the specific aspects that seniors look for in an RPM platform and who influenced them to do so. The third research question is, what communication channels do seniors prefer when it comes to information about their healthcare needs? This helped us determine the most used technology that seniors use when it comes to their healthcare needs, and if Care Connection needs to alter the way they market to seniors. The first method that we used in our research design was a series of semi-structured interviews that we conducted using the platform user interviews, which allowed us to screen for specific criteria that we had devised for this method, as noted above. The interviews were organized into 5 main sections: RPM knowledge and usage, perceptions of RPM, how participants find information, how participants find information about healthcare needs, and finally, participant demographics. Organizing these results with thematic analysis, our most significant findings were as follows. The first results section in our finding was RPM knowledge and usage. The results showed that when asking participants if they have ever heard of RPM, 4 responded no, 3 responded maybe, and 1 responded yes. After providing the definition of RPM, 6 out of 8 participants knew what RPM was. The general thoughts of RPM among participants was that it was a good thing, great advancement, and valuable tool. RPM was considered beneficial to patients because it saves money, time, and gives a greater access to healthcare. Participants did agree that RPM was easy to understand and very straightforward. However, there were concerns across the board that parts of RPM were difficult to understand. It was found that the technology aspect of RPM was hard to understand how health data is transmitted. Multiple improvements were recommended if given the chance, such as more transparency and data privacy about RPM, and more training about the technology. Findings also determined that typical user of RPM is older people with mobility issues that need to be monitored or have long-term conditions. These results could imply that Care Connection should be more transparent to consumers and provide better training when adopting devices. Care Connection should strive to target seniors and mainly market to emphasize mobility concerns and how RPM could solve their problems. The next section analyzed RPM perceptions. The results showed that when asking participants what makes them trust a medical company or service, all 8 participants agreed that reviews or referrals, especially from their doctor, is what makes them trust a medical company or service. The general answers across the board were that people don't want to use RPM because they don't know how effective the technology is and they don't know how to use it. There is a belief that people, especially older people, fear technology or think that they are better off without it. These results could imply that Care Connection should work hard to gain multiple positive reviews, especially from reliable sources like doctors, to attract more consistent clients. Care Connection should be more transparent and show concrete results of the success of patients publicly. Not only will that prove the effectiveness of the technology, it will also show that other people feel comfortable using the service and that it significantly helps people's health. We combine the last sections of our interviews into finding information. Participants revealed that they use the internet and social media every day. One participant said they spent around 18 hours a day on the internet. Others spent between 2 to 7 hours on the internet daily. Insights from the qualitative interviews revealed that participants typically find information by simply Googling it or scrolling through social media. Participants usually find information about their medical needs from their own doctor or from the internet. Results indicated that they somewhat trust or are sometimes skeptical of healthcare information they find online. These results could imply that Care Connection should make social media presence a priority and get their name on the internet. Popular social media platforms that should be active for Care Connection is Facebook and Instagram because those platforms were used the most according to participants. It is important that Care Connection is communicating and working with doctors to create a reputation that they could refer patients to. Online reviews for Care Connection would be great, however, they need to work on getting positive reviews in person with the healthcare industry.
The second methodology that we used in approaching this research was an online survey that we published through the platform Qualtrics. The survey was divided into 3 main sections: patient perspectives, influencing factors, and communication channel preferences. The full list of results that our team analyzed using SPSS can be found in the written report, but our most significant findings are as follows. Significant results from this section of the survey indicated a high level of familiarity with RPM across participants, suggesting that awareness of this technology may not be a barrier for Care Connection. However, results from this section additionally suggest differential perceptions of RPM between age groups, income ranges, and education levels. Specifically, when participants were asked the extent that they agreed with statements such as RPM is trustworthy and RPM is easy to understand, it was found that these demographics were significantly more likely to agree with these statements. The results of the turf analysis from this section revealed that participants considered multiple factors as important in the hypothetical decision to use RPM for themselves or their loved ones. The combination of 4 factors that had the greatest reach across participants suggests that potential patients value a comprehensive approach to RPM that includes support, accuracy of data, ease of use, and regular interaction with their healthcare provider. However, the turf analysis also revealed that a similarly high reach across participants could be achieved by combining just 3 of these factors, the implication of which suggests that there may be little real-world difference if Care Connection were to simplify the aspects of their value proposition that they market. This finding could also potentially indicate that efforts to prioritize and enhance these specific factors in Care Connection's marketing tactics may be effective in increasing patient adoption rates within their platform. Initial results from this section found that a significant portion of participants first learned or heard about RPM through a family member or social media, suggesting that these sources play a potentially important role in the dissemination of information about RPM. It was additionally found that combining the 4 platforms of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn through a turf analysis generated a reach of 93.6% across participants, suggesting that Care Connection could benefit from leveraging these channels for educational and outreach purposes. Further in support of this was the finding that there was no difference in trust between traditional and digital advertisements, even across demographics. To us, this indicated that Care Connection could very well implement a multi-channel approach without fear of alienating any demographic segment in their potential patient base.
For our recommendations, we believe Care Connection should begin with implementing a social media presence and disseminating accurate information. While all participants said that they still trust their doctors more than any other source for referrals to other services, all participants responded to using the internet to gather information. Most participants agreed that they would trust information on social media, with an even larger majority saying they would trust information about their healthcare needs on social media. A substantial number of participants first learned or heard about RPM through a family member or social media, indicating that these sources may play a potentially significant role in the dissemination of information about RPM. This further implies that Care Connection may consider utilizing these channels for educational efforts and outreach purposes, such as targeted social media campaigns or educational materials. Additionally, Care Connection should be more transparent on their website of RPM technology functions. Participants were skeptical of the technology aspect of RPM. Because of this, Care Connection should highlight the comprehensive approach of their RPM platform in their marketing efforts, emphasizing the importance of support, accuracy of data, ease of use, and regular interaction with healthcare providers. Furthermore, Care Connection should make information about their platform more transparent on their website. Currently, potential patients looking to learn more about Care Connection must request a demo in order to learn more about their platform. Based on findings from the interview that suggested general confusion on the technology aspect of RPM, as well as findings from the survey that indicated ease of use with technology and accuracy of data, were some of the most important factors selected by patients when considering the use of RPM. Care Connection may benefit from implementing video tutorials on their websites that empirically demonstrate these qualities to patients without the need to request a demo. This study was limited by the scope of individual research conducted. If repeated, it's recommended that the survey be distributed through a platform with a more diverse demographic population, as the participant sample generated by Qualtrics was concentrated in certain demographics, which could have led to a sample bias in our interpretation of the results. Additionally, limitations in the qualitative interviews may have possibly arisen from participants not wishing to discuss their private healthcare information, which may have limited the scope of their response to our questions as well as the interpretation of the results. Despite these potential limitations, the implication of our research support our recommendation to Care Connection to focus their communication strategy around the core aspect of increasing transparency, raising digital awareness, motivating patient testimony, and targeting a wider audience than previously thought. Through the implementation of these components, Care Connection may make the necessary changes that allow them to effectively leverage their value proposition with target audiences in their direct-to-consumer approach.
Finally, these are our qualifications as they pertain to the credibility of our research findings, as well as the academic sources that informed our studies. Thank you.